Welcome to Good News York, sponsored by Ads on the Go. Get adsonthego.com. Again, Mike Brindisi flying solo. No Matt today, but that's okay because I'm joined by a very special guest from the Syracuse International Film Festival right here in Syracuse, New York, Michelle DiBernardo. I know it's not as... I'm the only one clapping. I try to, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. I'm glad to have you. Syracuse International Film Festival. This is fantastic. So we know about it, but I was on the website looking around. You guys have been around since 2003. Mm-hmm. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and about how the festival kind of started?
Okay, yeah. So I'm Michelle DiBernardo. I've been in the industry for a long time. I'm not telling you how many years.
You don't have to.
I started as an actress, and then I moved on to running Barbizon USA and teaching at Syracuse University. Nice. Onto just growing into different positions and realizing I just wanted to be involved in the film industry somehow.
Absolutely.
And Syracuse International was actually created by Owen and Christine Shapiro. Owen Shapiro was the one who started Syracuse University's visual performing arts.
Wow.
So really, really big in the film here. And they, are a little bit older now and kind of stepped down. And I took over a couple years ago with a different vision, maybe per se, and adding different things with the community rather than, they were really big on foreign films and some other things where we've added LGBTQ and prison reform and just many different, things that really need awareness, like homelessness and addiction and just all sorts of cool different things that are creative that you would never realize really is really cool on a screen.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And, those are all things that are, it's just very selfless of you guys to also include everybody like that and to try and make a difference through film. Did you were you part of Syracuse International Film Festival in 2003 or you joined later?
Yeah, no, it was way later. 2003, I was, still a baby in the industry. I had done, as an actress, but it wasn't changing the realm of behind the scenes, until further on. Definitely came as I used to do press and celebrity interviews and those kind of things. I would go with my old business partner and Giancarlo Esposito and Daniel Baldwin and those kind of people we interviewed. We put together a little press thing. And, Owen obviously was someone who I looked up to for many years. And eventually I got a call 2.5 years ago. The president was stepping down. I was recommended. I had no clue what the heck I was getting into. I own a for-profit film festival, but that was just we started it during COVID. So it was all online. It was really easy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so with Syracuse International, they kind of gave me a logo and it was a festival of 20 years.
Sure.
What do I do?
Yeah.
So, there's definitely been some learning curves throughout and, it's almost like rebuilding a business because, a business takes 5 years and it's getting bigger and better and just, things are running more smooth and efficient. And this year is definitely going to be really big.
I'm sure. Now, when I went back to college a few years back and I was in charge of putting together a film festival. Now, this was a college film festival, so not at the level that you're doing. And I was ready to pull my hair out because there are so many... It's not just picking films, setting the place, and then go. I mean, there are so many. There's just so much in logistics that goes through that's part of all that. Is this a year-long process for you in planning? The film festival ends and then you're just rocking and rolling for the next year?
Yeah, yesterday I was on a Zoom with some new advisory board members and literally the one guy wasn't on the panel for this year and I was so I don't want to add anybody to this year, but hey, you want to be on the panel next year?
Sure.
And they're looking at me like I'm crazy and I'm no, this is how
what it takes.
Yeah, and we don't just do the one main event. We introduced honoring outstanding Black filmmakers, so that's in February and we have our new filmmaker showcase and there's other things we do and there's definitely going to be some day events because we've added war and so we'd love to do things with Clear Path veterans. Last year we did something within my father's kitchen.
We love
so
that.
There's things brewing that
That's wonderful. So let's talk about that. So there's the actual film festival itself, which is when is that?
Yeah, October 17th through the 19th.
October 17th through the 19th. How many submissions do you have?
Well, it was like over 1,000, but it is all 100% programmed as of right now. We're trying to, make things pretty now because everything's just like in a Google spreadsheet with the times, and get things over to the website, and like really like it's time right now. It's really prime time.
And where will this be?
So it's actually going to be at the Catherine Cummings Theater in Cazenovia.
Nice.
Yes. So we've kind of been looking for a home, like obviously it used to be like here and there, and it's just really confusing when it's like, hey, they're at the Marriott and then they're at Red House and they're at, like we need a home. And we also needed a home that had really a homey vibe around it. In Cazenovia, it's got the boutiques so they can go shopping. The lake is right there for like tourism. There's, Lincoln and Brewster and Hampton, and there's just like so many different like, walking hotels, and there's Nine, which is a restaurant there. So, there's other restaurants in the area. It's beautiful. It's perfect.
So in addition to everything that you're doing, you're also bringing some money to Cazenovia, which is always awesome.
Yeah.
Now, I do agree with you. I've seen, the word film festival gets thrown a lot, pretty loosely these days, and I've seen and been a part of film festivals in the past where you're right. There's actually not a location and it's all online, or there's 5 different locations. So having a central location, I think, is key. How many people do you expect coming out to this? Is there a way for you to gauge numbers ahead of time?
Okay, so like we're talking with like the new owners and stuff like that, and this year we're packing the house, period. Like, we're going next level, just like with the selections and what we're doing. I mean, we have 2 panels on Friday, and it's like, I don't know, probably about 16 people. Okay. And so anybody that like works in the film industry, if you're an actor, like you go to New York, you pay $149 for one little class. It's with one casting director. We have, like insane amount of people all in one place, one house right there, students free, and it's like a $15 ticket, and you get to see a movie afterwards, a great, awesome, phenomenal film. So like, where are you going to see a film and get all these panelists? And like, even if you're not in the industry and you just want to know, like, okay, we have like an education panel, we have like catering people that are there. So maybe you have a wedding and you want to, see someone who's catering, or just want to know more about it. It's cheap. Like, come on now, it's not happening. So we're packing the house, and the crazy films that we have everything from celebrity and invitational. We have, a 3-time Emmy winner who's a current director from CBS, Beyond the Gates, coming out, and she's screening her film with her husband. And they got some upcoming projects that you never know might be here. So
that's phenomenal. So let's talk about that a little bit. What are some of the categories, and how are the films judged? I'm assuming the panel, but I'll let you explain that.
Yeah. So we have judges that judge throughout the year. Like, I'm like on them from like right now, like, hey, like they're like, yeah, there's like 10 films right now. I'm like, no, like we gotta cycle through. Like, because at the end, it was rush still watching like 50 to 100 films because we still needed those judged. But so basically, the judges will go through, and there's like a whole system on Film Freeway, from creativity to lighting to sound to all that kind of fun stuff. And you got to get a certain score for me to even like look at it at the end. And this year was really hard because there was like a lot of like 9s that it was like, I can't even look at you because they were like so high, and there was so many great pieces. And, you got people emailing you afterwards, and, you hurt some feelings. It's unfortunate, but like, it's a judging system. Like, I can't just be like, hey, like, unless it's an invitational, then like, then it's okay, we looked at this or whatever. So sometimes I'll go back through and just see like what the judges are doing. And we have people from the community as well as industry people. So it's not just, one set of eyes.
So these films are submitted and judged before the festival even starts, kind of like a preliminary. Is that what you meant? Mm-hmm. That's awesome. I think that's actually, from someone who went through the hell of trying to organize a festival, I think that's great. And I don't want to say it weeds anything out, because I'm sure every submission is fantastic in its own right, but it just makes it easier to dwindle down.
Oh, absolutely.
And what are some of the categories that you guys have for the festival?
Yeah, so the first night is beautiful psychological, and everything will be up on the website in the next couple of weeks at syrfilm.com. The second day, we're starting with a block of short films that is anything from war to, it's a variety. It really is a variety. Prison reform, the LGBTQ. There's like 14 films on Saturday alone.
I love that, because when you think of film festivals, like traditionally you think of like best picture, best soundtrack, best all the normal category. I love that you're getting into the LGBTQ. You're getting into, what was it? Prison
reform. So
prison reform. That's big enough for a whole category.
Oh, heck yeah. I mean, we have so many prison reform documentaries or shorts that we got submitted. We're actually showing Inmates with Talent, which is with Ice-T.
No way.
Yeah.
Ice-T's the man.
Yeah.
Have you noticed, because you've been involved for a bit, and even when you weren't involved in the festival, I mean, you're an actress as well. You've always been involved in film. Mm-hmm. What are some of the trends you're noticing, like the difference in submissions now, or just in the industry in general, as to when you started? The types of films.
Things have changed. There's a lot more diversity. Which is great. It's great. Yeah. There's definitely some things that I've seen that I would never think I would see on film. Okay. And I'm like, woo!
Yeah.
So I have to be careful, because obviously we do have like students that come, and and I don't want someone to bring like a kid in. There's
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I just, the life is changing rapidly, especially with technology. But every industry seems to also be evolving. The music industry, I mean, decades ago you saw this shift, and now you're really within the last few years seeing the shift in the film industry with streaming, and everybody's kind of scrambling, trying to figure out how does everybody make money and make this a career. And but creatively there's also been a shift, and like you said, there's diversity and other things like that. So I was just curious from your point of view. So you mentioned that you guys, in addition to just the Syracuse International Film Festival, you're also doing events throughout the year as well. Let's talk about some of those. What else you guys got going on?
Yeah,
this is amazing.
Yeah, so this year we don't have any more dates locked in. Like obviously holidays are coming, but our Honoring Outstanding Black Filmmakers will be in February. It will be our third annual event. Our first one, we had a filmmaker come from Cameroon, Africa.
Wow.
So yeah, we're definitely we're international, so we have people that are like involved and exciting and have followers in different areas that you would never know. So last year we honored a local. Who knows who it will be this year? We might be bringing someone in. We're getting a little more attention with it. Slowly rising, but I think it's something that was like much needed for attention. And then there's other people that are like, "Hey, you're a white girl doing this. Why?" You got haters everywhere. Like,
of course,
just like if you bring a certain celebrity and you're getting hate mail. But it's like it's a great event, and there's people that are I don't know how to say like the proper terminology, because I'm not trying to
got you.
Say anything wrong. Like,
no, you're fine.
But there's just some people that don't get recognition that need to.
100%.
Yeah.
Well said.
Yeah.
I could not agree more. And you guys do such a good job of that, of just spreading the wealth of within the actual film festival itself, all the different niche categories like that. But as you mentioned, all these extra events that you're doing throughout the year, and you guys are very involved with the community as well. If you want to talk about that, I mean, it's really impressive when you go to the website to see this isn't just a film festival. I mean, this is a community involvement, and that is amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. So obviously, most film festivals, you just think like film. But we're like art, fashion, film, music, all of it goes together, and people don't really realize, even like the catering side of it, or the boring producing side of it, or the location management, or whatever. Like, it's a community thing, and people don't realize how much money like it brings to the community. We do a lot of community events. The students are free. The students are always free. Always free. Student submissions are free. So it's not like we're trying to make money off the students. We have interns from different, universities. and we really kind of take them under our wing. And there's a lot of them that will, when you, for instance, when you go to film school, you normally make like your senior thesis, so you make all these short films. Yep. A lot of times we take them and we bring them on feature films that are actually going to be streaming on things. So it's like, oh, hey, like on my resume, I did this for like an actual feature film before they were ever even like in their senior year.
Wow.
So yeah,
that's that's a huge deal for somebody at that age who's, you know, just learning the ropes. It's the next generation, and without them, we couldn't have awesome festivals like yours. So I just think it's wonderful that you're doing that. So I wanted to ask you this question. You know, when I was growing up, you know, I was like, I want to be an actor, and then I was like, I want to be a musician and a comedian, and it was just, you know, I like to perform, but it was, you really had like two choices back. There was like, you moved to LA or you moved to New York. Mm-hmm. American High is here now. We're seeing a trend. We've seen a trend over the last decade or more that, you know, Hollywood's still Hollywood, but people are filming movies and TV everywhere. Mm-hmm. Do you think that that's true at this point, that you don't have to be in New York and LA anymore and to be like a working actor or working production?
I mean, I've worked in the film industry and only the film industry for like 5 years. You know, it's my life. I eat, sleep, breathe, and I own a home here. So
I love that.
You know, like,
good for you.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. And American High obviously has been on the map for a while with what they're doing. Are you guys, do you work with them at all? Mm-hmm. Really?
Yeah, absolutely. Jeremy and Will are great over there. We did show a film from American High last year. We've talked about, you know, maybe getting some classes donated as prizes for them.
Oh, that's perfect.
So, you know, obviously they're a big studio here and they're doing great, amazing things and employing people. And so, you know, obviously we as a film festival want to work with everybody in the entertainment industry. And there's no all love from us.
Yeah, of course.
So,
I mean, what a perfect marriage, American High and Syracuse International Film Festival. I mean, it just makes complete sense.
Yeah.
So one last question, and then we'll get the plugs in. What do you see? What's next for the film festival? I mean, right now you're super hyper focused because it's coming up in October.
Yeah.
But you know, in the next few years, where do you see this going or growing?
Yeah. Well, we want Kaz to be our home. You know, I think the biggest complaint with a lot of larger film festivals and what we're, you know, our goal to be one day is that they didn't have that, you know, homey feel, and you had to go all the way here to the hotel or all the way here for a restaurant. Where Kaz, it's all right there, even with the lake.
It really is.
So, you know, we're going out there and building in the community. Like, you know, one of my board members owns the Hillcross Jepson, so she's already in Kaz. You know, obviously, there's some people I won't mention that don't want to be mentioned that live there. Uh-huh. And so there's a lot of people that live in that area, and the new owners and the mayor, Kurt, is great. Like, so we're really going to be pushing it. We're ordering flags just to like be up and down the street. So we want it to grow bigger. We just need the audience to like really come on out and support and realize that it's not just foreign films. It's not just international. It's not just student films. It's a variety for everybody. And, you know, we bring a celebrity here every year. And so, you know, this year is Stephen Baldwin.
All right.
And we're going to give him his Sophia. And then we also have added a new award this year, the Lumen Award, which is going to be with Tom Seeley from WCNY, which he actually wrote some episodes to Murphy Brown and even an episode of Hannah Montana.
Amazing.
And he lives right in Kaz. So people don't realize who's out there.
There are a bunch of people out there. Are you familiar with Ben Fram?
I'm not.
Ben Fram is he was an SU professor. He now, I believe, I don't know. I live in Ithaca. He's down in Ithaca. Our kids play together. But when I had graduated from IC, I heard about his name and I had reached out to him. He also, in Syracuse, was a writer on, I think, the Cars film. I'm probably getting that wrong. It was a very popular film, but you're right. There are so many people in this area that have done so many things that we don't even realize. And that's why I think your festival is amazing, because you showcase just that. And you reminded me, I thought I had one last question, but let's talk about the Sophia Award. I did see that on the site. What is that all about?
Yeah, so, our logo is actually Sophia Loren's eyes, and somebody had got permission like years ago. Yes. Yes. And so it's a Lifetime Achievement Award that we give every year. And last year was Dorian Wilson. Year before was Alec Baldwin. You know, Daniel's got it before. Grace Jones, Sally Kirkland, Jerry Stiller. So many like amazing people. And it's just a tradition that we carry on, that we bring amazing people. And honestly, like, if people knew the amount of work just going into the Sophia, like I was dealing with Cruz's agents, I was dealing with Susan Lucci's agents. You know, there's people that were very flattered that just, you know, they're already booked. You know, like they wanted to come like to Syracuse. But like I said, like we're bringing people here. You know, we have somebody who's streaming on Netflix currently, a director from Toronto. We have Sonia, who's with CBS. Daniel Crocs, we're showing his short film that was produced by Tyler Perry. So like we're showing The Christmas Letter that was filmed in Utica with Chevy. You know, so there's some Ice-T, there's some celebrity films that like really people that like follow those people, you know, could definitely connect with something that we're showing over the weekend. And it's very reasonable. And yeah.
That's amazing. You know, I don't know if you've ever heard this, but not many people know. I think I've talked about this on the show. Ithaca, New York was actually going to be the original Hollywood. It was like the beginning of silent film. And what happened was the weather. They couldn't shoot year round. So they went out to California and Hollywood became Hollywood. But actually Ithaca was going to be the next Hollywood. And I'm just so glad that you're shining so much light on this area because yes, the weather sucks. But if you, I mean, as an actress yourself and someone who's been involved in film, if you drive around this state, I'm constantly driving around thinking, my God, that you could shoot a film here. You could shoot a film there. There's something for everybody. You've got your urban areas, the beautiful rolling hills. I feel as though American High and you, Syracuse International Film Festival, are doing, you're doing God's work in showing that films can be shot here. And it's a beautiful place to do that.
Oh, absolutely. Every day I'm talking with some kind of filmmaker. Like I get pitched films every day, literally from all over. And I'm always trying to bring them here, you know, and if they don't like Syracuse, I'm always going for Cass or, you know, Camillus or Pulaski or Watertown or just, I'm okay with New York State. Like, as long 100%. As you're filming here, but I do try always first, like, hey, we have that high tax incentive, come on over, you know.
Exactly.
Like, I can find some people to hire. Like, just a couple weeks ago, we were working on a very, very large documentary that I'm sure people know about. I'm not going to say who the 3-letter streaming is, but I was working on it for months, and they were actually going to film in LA. The reason they filmed here is because I said, I can get the picture cars, I can get this, I can get this, I can get that. And it turned into, we were supposed to film in June and we filmed this past week. But everything was beautiful and it was gorgeous. And there was a lot of people very excited to be involved in the project. And I saw people all over TikTok like, these people documentary or filming. I'm like,
amazing.
Yeah, that's us.
You single-handedly did that. Are you still involved outside of the film festival? Are you still acting or involved in production outside of that?
Oh yeah. So like right now we're filming a Bigfoot movie, Those Who Believe, which
great title.
That's
a great title.
Yeah,
I like that. Those Who Believe.
And we filmed out by like Happy Valley. Do you know where that is?
I don't. Not off the top of my head.
Oh, well, it's like a ghost town, like over, by Pulaski, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so we did part of that in Cicero, at the Cicero Police Department, some out in Pulaski, some out in Watertown, and we have like 2 more days of filming, but I'm breaking it down because personally, I'm not going to lie, I like to break it down because I do so many things, and plus I like edit and all that fun stuff too. And then we have a double feature that we premiered a couple weeks back that's back in the edit room. So there's that. And then people call me for stuff. I can't say no. Right now there's someone texting me about another production and I'm like,
yeah.
No.
Do you sleep ever?
No,
I mean, you are really. Like round the clock going. I love you. I love what you do. Michelle DiBernardo, the Syracuse International Film Festival, actress, production, post-production. She does it all. Give us the plugs, dates, websites, events. Go for it.
Yeah. Okay. So syrfilm.com. Go ahead and check the events. October 17th through the 19th is our main festival. Catherine Cummings. We have everything from panels to beautiful films to some really, really amazing people that are going to be there. We might even have somebody from General Hospital as well. So any of those soap fans, he is in a couple films that are being screened. So yeah, I didn't check his voice message, but we'll see if he's coming. Yeah, check it out. SYR Film, DiBernardoProductions.media. Social media I Slack on, but if you go to any of the film pages, Escaped, Unraveled, The Prelude to Escaped, Those Who Believe, Syracuse International Film Festival. The Facebook page at least will have like all of the dates, times for all of the films. The website will be updated. Michelle at SYRFilm.com. My phone number is very accessible on the internet, so text gets me.
Well, Michelle DiBernardo, it's been so fun talking to you, and I could probably talk to you for another 2 hours. Syracuse International Film Festival, check it out. We are so happy she came on the show. Good News York, sponsored by Ads on the Go. We will be right back with more interviews about film. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Good News York, sponsored by Ads on the Go. GetAdsOnTheGo.com. We just had a great interview with an international film festival connoisseur. And speaking of film, we have another film connoisseur.
It's a film day.
It's a film day. It's a film day. Of course, my lovely co-host.
I think that's the right word.
Yeah, but I don't feel right calling you the co-host. You're kind of the guy in charge.
We're each other's co-host.
Aw, buddy. Well, anyway, my co-host Matt Mazer here, back for this.
It's not like Anchorman. I'm not Ron Burgundy.
I'm Ron Burgundy. We're back, and we have Joe Cunningham with us. Joe, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
We're very excited to have you.
Guys, I got to give you a little quick history here. Joe and I go way back. And when I say way back, you've heard me on this show probably a number of times talk about the fact that I opened the first podcast studio in Syracuse.
Yes, you did.
Joe was my first, I don't know if I want to say customer or partner or creator.
Really?
But Joe worked for the Syracuse New Times at the time. And shout out to our buddy Bill Broad. And he came and made some of the first podcasts that we made in our studio.
That's fantastic. I remember, I always tell the story. I was in a band at the time. Matt had me on as a guest, and when we got done, I remember it was so new to me that I went, so we weren't on the radio? And he's like, no, that was a podcast. I'm like, what's a podcast? So you were in on the ground floor of something great.
Yeah, I think Mark Maron was starting around the same time.
Yeah.
Sounds
we were all
about right.
trying to figure it out. But that was really cool. I remember being at the Tech Garden over there and being around a table and talking about movies probably as well. I probably diverted off into that, but yeah, that was cool.
Well, it was great, and I'll tell you what, you also, at the time, wrote an article for the New Times about opening the podcast studio. I have that framed still on my wall at home, so
Oh my God, I'm going to
that's
get
a little,
emotional. You too.
Thank you for that.
It's great to see. I've been watching the show from afar and just how far you guys have come. It's just very exciting.
Thanks,
Appreciate that, man.
I really appreciate
Absolutely.
And honestly, the same can be said about you, and I think we should dive into that. So you just wrapped
Yes.
a full feature movie, right?
My first feature.
that. Dude, congratulations. That's a big deal.
Yeah, we shot for 5 years, so I thought we could do it in a year, but things happen, and we just didn't give up. But we just wrapped on Sunday at American High, so very exciting.
That's incredible.
Yes.
What's the movie about?
It's called The Sentinel. It's about a combat veteran with severe PTSD, and he has partial custody of his son, and so he's just struggling trying to take care of his son and deal with the PTSD at the same time. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Now you had many parts with this production, right? You did you write it?
I wrote it, I produced it, I directed it, and I star in it with my son. Harrison plays my son in the movie. And we shot it in chronological order for the most part. So he was like 7 or 8 when we started shooting, and kind of like Linklater's Boyhood, he grows up in the last scene, he's 12 years old, so it's kind of cool.
Wow, that's pretty neat.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's really cool.
That's a really heavy plot, but
Yes.
it's one that unfortunately I personally have heard too many times. Combat vets with PTSD. So I mean, I think you're tackling just an amazing issue and shedding light on it. What inspired you to come up? Was this just something you had come up over the years, or was there a light bulb moment? How did you come up with this idea to shoot a film about that?
Sure. I have PTSD myself, so it's autobiographical. I think every artist creates autobiographical work all the time, but I had a specific, you could say, panic attack while I was actually shooting a film right before in 2019, and then I had a moment outside my son's school, listening to this song "You Say" by Lauren Daigle, and I guess in the song, it's like she's talking to God, but I felt like I was talking to, I felt like those words were talking to my son, and she's like, "You say I'm strong when I think I'm weak," and all this stuff. Very powerful. And just the climax of the movie came to my head, and I was working on a script called Midnight Rider about this drug runner and this whole neon noir type movie that I've always wanted to do. And I knew right then I had to pause that project and do this movie with my son because he was 6 or 7 years old, and do this father-son movie, and based on my own PTSD. And I knew that would be like self-therapy. I threw myself into it, kind of. I try to method act as much as I can without hurting anybody or losing my job, but which almost happened a few times. But and then I have a couple friends. Some of them are in the movie. Lawrence Gabriel is a combat veteran, and he was the bouncer at McAvin's Pub who got shot up, saving the biggest shooting in Syracuse. He got shot 5 or 6 times, saving everybody there. So he's in the movie. He's actually my friend, and he plays himself a boxer in the movie because he's a boxer. And my friend Adrienne McCraney, her husband Jimmy, is a sniper, is an ex-sniper who's in Afghanistan, who trained with Chris Kyle, the
American Sniper.
American Sniper.
Yeah.
So I kind of like glammed a couple different things from those people and just kind of smushed it into this story. And then, I wasn't a veteran, but I have, certain experiences. So I felt that that story would be a great vehicle to express those emotions inside of me, just because people are really, there's so many great films, Deer Hunter, Leave No Trace, American Sniper, that show veterans out of the furnace is one of my favorites too. Casey Affleck in that. And there's so many great military PTSD movies. So it's like you're not reinventing the wheel, but Tarantino and Scorsese said you got to make it personal, and that's what makes it powerful and unique and great. So I tried to do that as much as I could.
Wow. That's awesome.
Amazing.
And Joe, you, as you mentioned there, that you've made at least a portion of this movie at American High, our local movie studio that's made some fantastic Hollywood films right here in Central New York.
Yeah.
How do you come to a place like that? And do you pitch them your script, or how does that even work?
That's a great question. It was very important that we got a school to film in. And so, as Christopher Nolan says, I write a script not knowing how I'm going to do it, and then the fun part is figuring out how to do it.
Sure.
And sometimes when you write a script, you write it kind of the other way, and you're like, well, I know I have this location and these people, and I can easily do this. But I really ambitiously wrote this script thinking that I need this location, and I definitely need a school, which is really hard to get. So I wait tables, as that's what I do, and I used to be embarrassed of that. But my friend Solon Quinn, who's also a filmmaker, he's like, Joe, that's the job of an actor. So I was now I'm like pretty chill with it, but until I get rich and famous, of course. But Jeremy comes to my restaurant a lot, so I shook hands with him as soon as he came to town, and he was like, "Oh, you're the first actor that I've met, in LA. Every waiter's an actor, and everybody's trying to has their script in their back pocket." So and he's like, if you ever need anything, let me know. And around that same time, he got me into Sid is Dead, which is one of their Hulu movies. I think it might be Amazon or something. And so I got to know them that way. But then, trying to pitch this thing, and I always wanted to create an actor's studio in Syracuse. I've been involved in a couple different networking groups, screenwriting groups, and playwriting groups. One of them was called Help Words Come Alive in Fulton. My friend Peter Mahan, who directed a movie I'm in called Under the Mercy, started that group, which has since changed into something else. But these are the groups where I met people like James Marlowe, my DP, who makes movies on like almost no budget, and they win awards. He won the Syracuse Film Festival and other festivals, and they're just fantastic. If you ever get a chance to check out, I'm going to plug them, Trent Lockwood Adventures on YouTube. They're kind of like Indiana Jones meets Monty Python, and they're amazing. They're awesome. But anyway, he's great. And so I met these people who are all, indie filmmakers like John Cassavetes in Syracuse kind of thing. And so those are the people that we all started to like create this cosmos of volunteering on each other's movies, whether it be as actors or crew. And then those people would come and work for me. And it's just a great friend group and environment. And so through that, once Help Words kind of stopped, I decided to start the Syracuse Actors Studio with my friend Laura Stisser, who's an incredible actress, and she's actually in the Sentinel as well, and we developed this character for her. She's got one of the best performances in the whole movie. I don't want to spoil too much, but it's been, I was like always trying to cast, the film and going on Facebook, trying to watch people's reels and figure out, I put some casting calls on Backstage for different things. But I was like, I wish there was like a cosmos of actors here in Syracuse, a group of actors that like we could support each other and learn from each other. So Laura and I started the Syracuse Actors Studio back about 2 years ago, and Tracy Dando, who was on your show, she's amazing. She hosted us for about a year at Safe Space, and now we're at the McCarthy Mercantile. Michael John Haggerty hosts us there, and we meet once a month and we just teach each other different skills and things, and it's fantastic. But more than the skills, we have this great community of actors that I cast from all the time and always help. And now I've lost track of the question because that's what I
that's
do.
great.
No, listen, you're nailing it. This is it's incredible to hear, your story and to. But first of all, you're always first. You were the first guy that Jeremy from American High met. First podcast guest.
Yeah.
You've been at this a while.
On the edge.
How long have you been making films altogether?
I made a film in college in 2011, and then it was like the best day of my life. I wrote this script, and I got two of my brothers and just bought them lunch and had this little DSLR, and we went around Destiny, USA without permission and just shot this little movie, and it was just so fun. And I was like, oh my God, I want to do this, my whole life. I've always wanted to do it from when I was a kid, but that was like the first taste of it. And then, I went into the marketing world and kind of freelance writing, and I thought that was the way that I was going to make money off of my creative writing degree. And it wasn't a mistake, because I met a lot of great people and had those experiences and learned that wasn't what I wanted to do. And then I met my friend Joe Connor. He's like a life coach guy. Really, shout out to Joe, really good dude. And I met him for coffee, and I was like, look, Joe, I'm here. I'm like waiting tables and freelance writing and stuff, and I want to make films, and I need to find like that thing in the middle that's going to make me like $1 million so I can make films. And he said, take away that thing in the middle and just like go make your films. And that was like the best advice anybody could have given me. And I remember where I was going with the Actors Studio. We partnered with American High early on, because I'm not very good at like publicity or public relations. But I partnered with a couple people, Erin Williams, Tracy Chamberlain is my publicist, and she's probably the reason I'm sitting here today. But they are really great at like corporate connections and stuff. So they reached out to Jeremy pretty early on in the Actors Studio, because we had always envisioned creating a connection from the studio to every major theater company and film studio in the area. And so we've now we create a connection between American High and Syracuse Actors Studio, because if they need actors, sometimes they reach out to us, and we go there once or twice a year to host some of our sessions. And so through that relationship, I waited until I was actually ready to shoot the scene in the school, and then I reached out to them. I was like, "Hey, remember me? I'm the guy from the Actors Studio. Can I shoot in your school? It's this, this, and this." And they were like the nicest people. Sometimes you go into a business.
Great.
I've worked with I'm sorry, I'll shut up. So I've worked with like 25 local businesses, and sometimes they're like, "Oh, please don't do this, please don't do that." But American High was like, "Oh, how can we help you do this? How can we help you do that?" And they're like so nice. All right, that was the end of that.
No, that was great. That's what we wanted to hear about. A couple more minutes before we let you go, Joe, but I just want to ask you kind of, because I'm always the process guy, right? I'm always thinking about how this works. So obviously you just finished shooting. You mentioned you got to do a lot of editing. What is the step beyond that, I guess? Like, do you have to then shop it around? Do you self-release it? Like, how does that work?
Yes. Well, after the edit, I give it to my sound and composer, Dave Welsh, who's a great composer, and then he'll mix everything. And then the last film I did, Under the Mercy, kind of was a crash course in self-distribution, but we try to get into as many film festivals as we possibly can.
I see.
And that way we can get some sort of exposure to producers, distributors, that kind of thing. But I'm very new with all that stuff. That was a short film, so I ended up just putting it on YouTube and making DVDs that are in the Soundgarden right now. Shout out to the Soundgarden. They're amazing. But, which is where the Sentinel will go if we don't get distribution. I'll just keep self-distributing. Sure. But the ideal would be to get the attention of someone who distributes for like Netflix or Hulu or something like that, and then we could get, just so more people can see the movie. There's about 300 people in the movie or worked on the movie.
Wow.
And probably like 25 speaking roles, and all the performances are so great. I just want people to be able to see.
Sure.
It, so it's great.
That's so cool, man.
It's amazing.
That's so cool. I know this might be a little in advance because you still got a lot of work to do here, but just curious if there's another project on deck or something you're thinking about.
Yes.
That would come next.
I have 10 movies in my head.
Of course.
I have flashcards taped all over my house with different film ideas. I'm just kind of like always putting stuff on the wall. But the next one is Midnight Rider, which is the story of, it's based on the Allman Brothers song. I was driving my car with the windows down at night, I think on like 13 curves in the middle of the night or something. It's not a ghost story. But I had just finished freelance writing, and I just had like a clear head, and I was like, what would I write if I wanted to write my own thing? And I didn't really have an idea. And I was listening to Midnight Rider, and I just got this feeling that like I'm this like drug runner guy in like, I don't know, some sort of in the crime world at some point. So the movie's about this drug addict who's also a drug runner, and he works for this loan shark, and he's in love with a stripper. He thinks he is anyway. And she goes missing, and nobody else cares, so he goes to find her.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's actually Danny's life story.
It is.
That's how we
there you go.
ended up here. But
yes,
it's true.
That's phenomenal. Was there a moment, because you seem you're writing about some real heavy things. Was there ever a moment, because you did talk about your PTSD in this film, The Sentinel? Did I say that correctly? It's The Sentinel, where you had a moment where you were like, what, you really felt it, like a scene where you were like, this is heavy. This is a lot.
Oh yeah, there's a very simple scene. It might be my favorite scene in the whole movie, but I'm getting emotional thinking about it. But whenever I got home from bringing the groceries home, I would always take, my son would be with me, and I would try to get every single bag in at the same time, and then that would somehow that would trigger me. And I would start yelling at my son and stuff like that. Very not a good thing to do. So I wrote that scene into the movie, and we shot it at my apartment. And my AD is here, Sally LaMonaco, who's a great filmmaker herself, and James Marlowe is shooting it. And we shoot it in a big one shot. We did it 4 times. And it was so real that the neighbors started to come out to try to stop us. And I'm like yelling at my son. And then it's like, oh, it's such a beautiful scene. And then, you know, of course, spoiler, the character apologizes and they hug over on the side at the end. And every time I watch it, I cry. I can't not cry. And every time I bring the groceries home now, I remember that. And so the movie has been really like self-therapy for me. And ironically, you know, I try to method act and everything. When the character started going back to therapy, I started going back to therapy.
That's method acting at its finest.
Commitment is what that's called.
Yeah, I have a son too, and and Matt as well. So I can imagine as a father.
I'm not your son.
Was this Maury Povich? You're not? No. But I can understand how anything involving your children, and you said your son was actually in it, right? So that even made it.
He's like the best actor in it. He's 12. He's 12 now, but we started shooting when he was like 6, and I stopped work on Midnight Rider because I was like, I really only have one chance to
capture
while he's like a kid.
Yeah.
But I can imagine how emotional that would be.
Oh,
you know,
amazing.
reliving something that personally happened between you and your son. And I mean, man, I'm getting emotional talking about
That's
it.
great.
Buddy.
Joe, we are just about out of time, but man, I really appreciate having you
so
here.
much for
And
having
you're welcome to come
This is
back
really
anytime.
great.
Yeah,
Please.
man.
Tell us more about the progress and of course anything new that's going on. We'd love to hear you. And honestly, your actors group is a phenomenal thing that we'd love to hear more about.
Syracuse
So
Actor Studio.
anytime
yes.
you want to come back and even bring a person or two, we'd love
Yes.
to
I should
dig more
bring
into
Laura.
that.
She's my co-lead.
Let's do it.
That's awesome.
She's much more personable than I am.
So where can we find all the info on this movie, when it'll be
Sure.
released? I know there's a lot that's still up in
Socials
the air,
or anything like that.
Yeah.
So we have the Sentinel Film on Facebook and Instagram. My film company is called Amy Loos, Loos Films. It's a explanation there. And then if you want to learn more about the Syracuse Actor Studio, at Syracuse Actor Studio on Facebook and Instagram as well.
That's easy enough.
Oh, thank you.
Joe Cunningham,
Thank
thank you
Appreciate
for joining Good News
No, this
York,
is
buddy.
great.
It
Thank
was
you
a
so
pleasure,
much.
man. Thank you so much. Joe Cunningham, the Sentinel Film, Syracuse Actor Studio. Yeah. Wow.
Think
What a
that's
great,
it.
what a film-heavy episode.
Thank you.
We got more good stuff coming tomorrow. We've got some crazy interviews. We've got a whole, the schedule is booked with incredible people like Joe and awesome people from around New York. So
Which is solidifying.
follow Good News York.
Sorry, buddy. It's solidifying what you and I have talked about, but your whole brainchild, this whole thing, that there's so much good and so much talent in this area. And guys like Joe and everyone that we have on are a perfect example. And it's not just here.
That's it.
We're all in New York State, but I mean, there's so much great things going on.
Why we do it.
Yeah, man.
And with that,
We will see you tomorrow. Good News York, sponsored by Ads on the Go. Get adsonthego.com. Follow me on all socials at MikeBTV. See you tomorrow.
peace out.